guys, welcome to Tomes. Got a special one for you today. Was not planning to do this one this morning, but in honor of Veterans Day, of all things, I got the brand new Soulfinder in the mail today, and it is wonderful. It is awesome, and I'm not a simp. I really am not. But again, it is well done. Again, here you can see the cover, and I've got the art that's been up on my wall for a while. And it's got a summary here on the back, just kind of showing the gist of what the story is about. Now, Iconic Comics has just been busy over the last few months. Tons and tons of books. I was showing my wife. This is my collection of Soulfinder related stuff, in addition to the shirt that I'm wearing right now. And so in this, you've got the Black Hops Soulfinder Common America crossovers that just finished. So with two different covers there. You've got the original Soulfinder, and so this one, Demon's Match, is the first one. It's got a different artist, but it lays out kind of your backstory of your various characters. If you want to see a review of that, just go back on my channel. I'm not going to waste your time with those ones. Then I've got two copies of the second one, and again, what you see a continuing theme throughout these books is you see people who are treated wrongly, or there's something that goes bad in their life, and it's how they respond. And so again, there's a girl in the first book who kind of is questioning, why does God allow evil? Really explores that concept right there. And then you got the villain of this book, and he is someone who's been mistreated by the government, and some things happen there. And we're still waiting on the next book to kind of get a little bit of backstory of Father Crane. But you have this one, which kind of digs into Chua and some of the stuff that he's gone through, and it's kind of that exploration of forgiveness. But what you see throughout these different books are the different problems that people face and how they respond to it. And so this one specifically has more to do with forgiveness and the bitterness that people find, and how they kind of give into the hedonistic lifestyle as a result of dealing with that bitterness. This one is going to be the idea of what depths you sink to when you are mistreated and wronged and things go bad, and how you try to destroy other people's faith as a result. And so there's a lot there. You can see, again, more expansive explorations of both of those books. And then, of course, Soulfinder is just the simple question at the very beginning of, why does God allow evil to happen to people? And that's a really good exploration. Now, it doesn't quite go off the rails, but it doesn't dig as deeply into a specific theme with these ones, because they're more the cryptid / not quite a demon. So that's they get away with it because it's the Jersey Devil. Now, this one deals with the concept of despair. Now, I find it kind of interesting. I was thinking through it, and I might be reading too much into it, but you've got this giant demon sitting on a throne, and he is despair. And again, I find it funny because he represents one of the greatest militaries in ancient history of the Roman army. And so you've just got this big gladiator-looking guy who looks insurmountable. It's funny, though, when you study history, that Christianity was the thing that destroyed this monolith of just evil, incalculable horror of Rome. Now, even this symbol that I'm wearing on my shirt right now plays into this, because according to legend, we don't know if it's true or not, but according to legend, Constantine, when he kind of was crossing, I believe it was the Milvian Bridge, or the Battle of Milvian Bridge, he supposedly saw a vision, and it had this symbol, and it said, "In this sign conquer." And that's part of the exploration in this book. But as he explores that sign, it is a commonly misunderstood fact. Constantine did not make Christianity the religion of Rome. He just made it legal. And so up until that point, the church fathers and Christians had been persecuted like crazy, and they had just kept the faith. They just kept holding fast to the gospel. And they beat the Romans. They refused to yield. They refused to worship any other gods. They refused to give in. And it turned out well for them. Some of them died, but Hebrews 11 would deal with some of that. And so what you have is you have of Constantine, who basically makes Christianity a legal religion. It's not the religion of Rome, that would come later, but he makes it a legal religion. And in that way, Christianity then proceeded over the next 80 years or so to conquer the Roman Empire. So I find it really interesting how a Roman soldier, this giant skeleton demon, is a representation of despair, because again, it is that idea that you could face insurmountable odds and still win. And so that's something that's really interesting. I think it's summed up in one of the lines that Father Redder says. He points out to these other people who are trapped in Arlington Cemetery. Now, the plot line of the book is they are trapped in Arlington Cemetery. The demon despair has taken over a big section of the cemetery, and they're trying to rescue this lady and several other people who are kind of given in to the despair that you would naturally find in a cemetery. And so he is having flashbacks to some of his war experience. One of his friends who you see throughout some of the other books, his grave is there. And so he is suffering from the arm injury that you see in the very first panel of the first comic, and it carries throughout this idea of some of the suffering that he has faced because of the war. And I find it interesting because the image that kind of encapsulates a lot of this book is that idea of fighting back against despair. And he points out and he says, make sure that you are basically hopeful. Do not just fire willy-nilly down range because it's dangerous to do so. And I find it interesting because people who are trying to deal with despair, if they just flippantly throw anything down range, they're actually causing more destruction. And so it is a fascinating little book. From a technical standpoint, it's just beautiful, again, as is to be expected. I would almost have added the passage here about putting on the whole armor of God, but he puts in the passage, I am sending you like lambs among wolves, because of the almost defensive, the defenselessness that we have to have when we are fighting for the faith. Now again, from a theological standpoint, very Catholic. You guys know that. I hope that's not a surprise with a whole bunch of Father Crane and Father. Okay, it's very Catholic. So there's a lot of Catholic theology that comes out in it. You'll see that some of the discussion points. But again, the points still stand that you cannot fight the spiritual warfare with practical means. And I find that interesting as you go throughout the book. Again, what I love about these books is a lot of times they come with the black and white at the back of it. And so you can see the black and white art, which is really, really good. And again, it's a short comic. I believe it's about 12 pages long. So it's really, really short. But you got all the colors, you got all the black and whites, and then the part that I just can't stop bragging about because I just love them so much. You've got some of the more sacred art. And again, it's the whole idea of he's not here because he's risen. And I find that such a powerful thing, especially when you're facing the idea of despair and despondency, to remember that death isn't the end. Suffering is not the end. These are things that Christ has already defeated. So don't give in to that despair. And don't fight the spiritual warfare with physical weapons. And so that's something that's going to be borne out throughout this. And then, of course, there's just some splash screens here of him with the spiritual weaponry and stuff like that. And it's, again, great art, really cool little story. And so, Doug, thanks for sending it on over. And I realized I just did a summary of like all the books there, but you got some new guys to the channel. Guys, check out the Common America website. Check out Iconic Comics. This one will be coming out soon. You probably missed this, the Soulfinder crossover from the summer. Definitely worth checking out, especially if you're into cryptozoology or any of that type of stuff. And then, of course, they've got all of the old back orders. If you have not gotten a chance to do so, I believe the Infinite Ascent, which I did a review on a few months back, is finally out on their website, and you will get some trading cards and things like that with it too. Also, check out this. It is the shirt that came with one of the recent campaigns. I believe that one's up for sale on commonamerica.com as well. And so check those things out. Support Iconic Comics. They're doing some good work, and they definitely hit the quality level. And so I hope you guys enjoy. If you enjoyed this video, I realized it was a little bit of a longer one because I was summarizing an entire series. But guys, if you enjoyed it, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel for more. And I'm going to hit up Iconic Comics as they keep going. Got a few other things we're going to start doing on the channel soon. But thanks, Doug. Thanks for sending it over. And I hope to do a more spoilery review later on. And I will catch you guys on the next time here on Tones.